For those of you that are new and I've never met before, my name is Debbie Barnett. It's so nice to meet you, and I'm so glad that you're here tonight. I'm going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so here we are. Agnes, give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. MahjCon presents. Let's get to know the 2026 card. And yes, MahjCon is the name of my company. I think most of you know that by now. I can't get away from you guys. I think I can be found everywhere pretty much these days. Okay, I decided to change up my last year's quote to something new today. And this is my new quote before we get started. Life is like Mahjong. It's all about what you do with what you're dealt. Isn't that so true? I think that's really cute. Here's the agenda. I already did the introduction, and during this event, we're going to be discussing the 2026 National Mahjong League card. And the cards that are shown are being used for teaching purposes only. I have been given permission by the league many times over the years to use the card for teaching purposes. So just so you know, because somebody might ask, and every once in a while, I do have people ask me that. All righty, and I want to put this down right now. Perfect. Now, tips or suggestions during this live stream are based on my own research and are of my own opinion. There will be things that I'll talk about during the event that might, where I can clarify something about my philosophies, because there are a lot of 2026 card reviews out there, and everybody has their own little take on what they do and what they believe. So I'll make sure I point that out. So I'll give you some helpful tips along the way, some fun facts, and then we come into my 2026 overall changes. When I look at the card, I like to look at it and I like to kind of dissect the hands, break it down. I like to see how many pairs of flowers, how many pungs of flowers, how many hands that have pairs. That kind of gives me an overall feel of the card as a whole, how easy the hands are, and how they compare and stack up to the previous year. Well, we're going to go through this, and you're going to see there is a lot of similarity, but I'll point out the things that I think that make it a little bit different. So to start out with, we have a total. Now, this does not include singles and pairs. So this data here does not include the section singles and pairs. It's all the other sections. Every year I do the same thing. 72 hands on the card, and last year there were 65 hands on the card. So we've got a few more this year. Okay, that's a 10%, 10.8% increase. And we have 13 pairs of flowers this year, whereas last year 16. That's a decrease of 18.8%. We have pungs of flowers, which we absolutely love. I have not met anybody who doesn't love our pungs of flowers. Well, we've got 13 this year, and last year we had 6. That's a big increase of 116%. Prongs of flowers, 0 this year. Okay, that has a little impact. We'll talk about that after, but that's a decrease of 100% right there. We've got our sextets back. We haven't had them since 2008, and I've been playing since I'm 26 years old, and I'm going to tell you, I don't remember the sextets. It's been so long. I could look at them on the card, but I just can't remember actually playing with the card that had sextets. And I think there was 25, 6, 7, and 8. So I think those years before 2008 also had them, if I recall. Now, total hands with flowers on the card, pretty important when it comes to strategy with flowers, okay? 28 this year, 29 last year. Not a big difference, just a small decrease of 3.5%. We've got 17 hands that have single tiles in it. Last year it was 15. Not a big, huge increase at all there. Hands with one pair, we have a decrease of 41.7%. So I take that into consideration overall too. And then hands with 2 pairs in it, we've got 19 this year. That's a small decrease, 9.5%. With this one, hands with 3 pairs, we've got an increase of 200%. That's a big increase for hands with 3 pairs. Hands with 4 or more pairs stayed the same. Okay, no difference there. Then our hands that have a combination of singles and pairs, we have a little less this year with a decrease of 11.1%. Now, hands with 3 Kongs in it, we only have 2 this year. Yeah, that's a big difference for me. That's a decrease of 75%. So I look at that too, as far as whether I'm considering is it easier this year? Is it harder? And all of that. Hands with 2 Pungs and 2 Kongs stayed the same. And these are our easiest hands on the card. We're going to talk a little bit more about that coming up. Total number of Kongs, of Pungs on the card, 94 compared to 97, just a small decrease of 3.1%. Total number of Kongs on the card, 89 versus 93, so that we have less than we did last year. And we'll talk more about that in a little bit too. Okay, hands with dragons. No, not that big a difference there. Matter of fact, oh, sorry, I skipped to it. Hands with quints, backing up just a little bit. 3 and 3 from last year and this year, and we're going to get a chance to talk about all the different sections on the card too very soon. Hands with dragons, 1 more than last year, so there's a little increase of 6.38%. Concealed hands, 6 this year, 7 last year. Not bad. We're going to talk a little bit more about that too coming up. So overall possible hand combinations, 1,077 versus last year, 1,002. And that is a number for the entire card. Just these numbers. I don't include the singles because there's all singles and pairs, and it mixes in with the other hands. I just don't think it kind of feels right to do that when we're getting percentages for the hands that are not all singles and pairs. Anyway, that's just my feeling on that one. All right, so this is an increase of 7.5%, but if you remember in 2024, we had a humongous number of hand variations because of that really silly and crazy quint hand. For those of you that are new, you don't know what I'm talking about, but for those of you that aren't new, you know what I'm talking about, okay? All righty, so my overall assessment is that this 2026 card, and I've been playing with it now since I got it, and I got it late, but I was able to get a copy of it so I could start playing with it and practicing. I heard somebody played, I don't know, thousands of hands or something to do their card analysis. Well, I'm telling you, I didn't do thousands and thousands of hands, so maybe you're going to give me some good information later on when I open it up to Q&A. But my overall assessment after playing with it since probably the end of March is that this card is so very flexible. It's so flexible that it might have your head spinning, because I don't know about you, but that's my feeling about this card. This can easily be one of the most pivot-friendly cards in a long time, if not ever. I don't know if some of you feel that way, but I'm going to be loving to hear from you about that too. Only 3 hands on the balance overall of singles, pairs, pungs, kongs, and quints is pretty close for the most part. Only 3 hands have 3 kongs versus 8 last year, which would lend itself to an easier card if you were just looking at that. But hands with 3 pairs spiked from last year to 9 this year, which would lend itself to a harder card. Now, kongs as a whole are harder to make. They are definitely harder to make because if one of your natural tiles goes out on the table, right away, you need a joker for that grouping. So they are generally a little bit more challenging. But yeah, hands with 3 pairs, 2 pairs are hard enough, but 3 pairs, that's hard. And this is a lot, to have in the card, on any card. So this could be a record breaking. I don't know. I wish I had complete statistics on everything, but I don't, and I can't get it because I need to get every single card. And I could probably feed everything into AI these days and have them just spit everything out, although they make too many mistakes with the card statistics, so it's not perfected. If you want to play easier hands, here is my list from easiest to hardest. Many of you probably know this already. Hands with 2 pungs and 2 kongs. Hands with 3 kongs. Quints. Hands with pairs. Hands with singles. Hands with singles and pairs. Hands with a quint of flowers. So for this year, this is kind of my stack up for, wanting to know what hands are the easiest to play. And a friend of mine and somebody who is a mahjong nut just like me, when he was asked, how do you decide what you're going to play? And he says, well, and he's been playing for longer than I have, and I've been playing since I'm 26, just a few years. He said, well, of course, I play the easiest hands on the card because I want to win. So it's okay. You don't always have to play the hardest hands, but I always encourage everybody to challenge themselves to do that. Okay, so we start out with the back of the card. And this year there was a lot less markings on this screen than there were last year. So that's great news. And they made some really important changes here. So the game begins section, and if you have your card, you could follow along with this. If you have last year's card and this year's card, it's kind of nice to see it for yourself as well. So from the game begins, they remove the sentence, a discarded tile can only be claimed to complete a pung, kong, quint, or sextet in an exposed hand. Why did they remove it from there? Because it really didn't belong there. I might have said something like hands with sextets of flowers and not quints. I apologize. I will get that fixed, and you have my correction verbally right now. My husband definitely looks out for me. Okay, so now we go here to this under claiming a discard. The above sentence was moved to this section with added wording. And the added wording is, but not to complete a grouping of single tiles or pairs, except for Mahjong. And the except for Mahjong was also added there. And that is the appropriate place for this. And then we go to the middle, believe it or not. That's all for that left side there. And what do we have here? Misnamed tile. They added the word, the correctly named tile may be called for exposure or mahjong. That word was missing and they've added it. Good job, National Mahjong League. A discarded joker may never be picked up. It's a dead tile. That's added. It's brand new. And the confusing item number 6 on last year's card, and I don't know how many texts and emails and phone calls I got about that. It confused everybody, including the newer players. That number 6, which is now under claiming a discard, which we just read before, is in its rightful place. It was not supposed to be under here. It had nothing to do with jokers. And if you want me to just back up real quick, it is this one, but not to complete a grouping of single tiles or pairs. And it was, I mean, it was just so confusing to everybody. And they're like, well, wait a minute. So can we call a joker? Can we call use a joker in a single grouping? It's like, no, you cannot. It's not supposed to be there. So I'm really happy they put that in its right place. Okay, now we're going to move on to the actual card, and we're going to take a look at the left side card. Okay, no concealed hands this year in this section. Very interesting. I like it. So that's good. This last hand here is not that easy, so I'm happy it's exposed. But we've got 2 pungs, but we've got 2 pairs and singles. That's one of the harder hands. Okay, this hand here is one of the ones that has been confusing to many newer players. So we'll go over it again, even if you already know it. Some of you are maybe just getting your card. But when a white dragon, or soap as we call it, is used in a numbered sequence like 2026, it becomes a zero and neutral. It is no longer a dragon. I call it the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde tile. It completely changes. And so if it's used in the 2026, that does not mean you have to use dots for the 2026 and soaps for these dragons next to it. That is not what it means. So just know that this is neutral, and when it says any two suits with matching dragons, and of course these Kongs can be twos or sixes, got to read what's in the parentheticals. You can use cracks here up front, you could use dots, you could use BAMs, and then whatever you use here, pick one of the other two for the next two groupings. All right, so let's move on here. This one here I point out because we get used to seeing certain things on a card after a full year. And for twos and eights, those two Kongs must be those numbers only. You cannot use anything else there. So just make sure you keep an eye on that. And we've got this, our Punga flowers with our 2468 single. And this is one of the 11 hands with the pungs of flowers in it. I like this because you do have that flexibility with this hand where this Kong of twos can be either twos, fours, sixes, or eights. And this is not quite like my hand from last year that I loved. Okay, but it's kind of close to it. That was the original, I think it was line 4 before. That hand I absolutely loved, and I made it a lot. And I think everybody did because it was a pretty easy hand, even though it had those singles up front and a Kong of flowers, believe it or not. All right, here we go with our very first sextet in on the card on the left side, first time since 2008. That means these flowers are going to be a high commodity this year, and your strategies have to adjust based on our card. Each year, the strategies change just a little bit. All right, and we've got this hand here that has wins in it this year in the 2468 section. Very interesting. Now, if you have trouble figuring out whether you need to use east and west and what numbers they go with, historically, the card has always used east and west with evens and north and south with odds. And if you want to think of a way, if you want a little way to think about it, remember it, well, E starts with even. That can help you with that. As far as odds go, there's an O in odds, so you could think about that. And maybe that would help. I mean, there's a O in north and in south. Maybe that will help you think about odds. A little tongue-tied here right now. So this is a very interesting hand, and I don't remember when I've seen wins in 2, 4, 6, 8, if ever, and I make a little note about that later on. But that's fun to have our wins there. And there are no concealed hands in any like numbers this year. That's pretty cool too. So that's going to be a fun section. And I actually have made this one with the sextets, and I saw somebody make it the other day with no jokers. Can you imagine having that many flowers? So all those times when you start getting all those flowers and you're thinking, I don't really need them, you got to keep them now. Because I'm telling you, you know how it goes with flowers, right? All right, let's go to the middle of the card and let's talk about our quint hand. Line number 3 here. This hand is going to be fun. It definitely has flexibility. There's 108 different ways you can make this hand. The one thing you really need to be careful of is that the two numbers need to be the same suit. So this has been another hand that's been a bit challenging for newer players. And it's any two numbers. So it's not ones and ones. That was asked in my Ask the Mahjong Teacher group today, or somebody made a comment. because if it were, it would say any like numbers. And this is any two numbers, same suit, with the opposing dragon. All right, so we're going to move on here. And now we have our second hand in consecutive run that has the other sextet of flowers. Fun. All right, let's move on here. Now we have our winds, our north and south in our 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Last year we had our news hand, and I really do already miss that. And this is where you can think of the O in north to think of O for odd to help you remember that north and south goes with odd numbers. All right, let's move on here to this hand where, this hand, oh my God. Yeah, on the left side here with the one suit, I have an easier time with it. But for some reason with the two suits, I just having a hard time wrapping my brain around it. But interestingly enough, this has helped me a little bit figure this out. If you start with a 2, you're going to end with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and even. So start with an even, you're going to end with an even, and the middle number in the 3 single tiles, the run of 3 singles, is going to also be an even. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you start with an odd, 3, 4, 5, the middle one's going to be the odd, 6, 7. Odd, odd, odd in the middle. Somehow that did help me work around this, but to me, it's just not an easy hand to wrap my brain around. I don't know why I'm having so much trouble with it. I'm hoping it soon gets a little bit easier. All right, but it's fun. It's fun to play, and you could definitely challenge yourself with it. It's a new and very interesting hand. You guys are probably asking some questions in here. You might want to write them down because I'm not reading. I just saw a few things come in. I'm not really reading them right now, but at the end, we can flip back to anything you have a question on or any more comments that you have. Oh, our floating pair hand has moved to 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. It was here under consecutive run last year, and now we have this floating pair hand, and it is a fun hand as well. Of course, we don't have as many choices here because it's only 1s, 3, 5, 7, 9s. But still the pair can float. So it can be in the 3 position, the 5, the 7, the 9. Just remember, I saw somebody make this wrong the other day. They were like, oh my God, what was I thinking? Look, this is a longtime player that did it. So I don't want any beginners who are watching to think that it's just you that are going to make mistakes. No way. I mean, we have to get used to this too. So if you use the pair in the 3 position, these have to be 3. The Kongs have to be 3s, and that applies to wherever you move that pair. Okay, and then we've got this hand down here, which to me, oh God, I've said a few choice words about this hand already. It is not only is it concealed, but the pungs at the end must be those numbers only. Like I would have appreciated it if it said pungs 1s, 3s, or 5s over here and pungs 5, 7, or 9s over here. But that makes this hand quite challenging. So I've made it once, and I'm going to keep challenging myself to make it more. But it is fun. But, just kind of these things that like pop out at you, and it's just crazy sometimes. Okay, this hand here is similar to last year's hand, but we don't have the flowers. We now have our singles, 4 of them. And we have a pung pung Kong, whereas last year we had a pair of flowers, 3 singles, and we had a pair pung Kong or something like that. Hold on, I have my card here. I can't believe I don't know. Pair pung Kong last year. So this one is to me a bit easier to play because of the Pung Pung Kong for the dragons, a tad bit harder for the singles, adding one more number to it. But fun hand. And then we have our hand here in Winds and Dragons. I don't know if any of you remember what I do every year when I do my card analysis. I always do all the hands that have two exposures that are unique to that particular hand. I always have that challenge at the end, but we don't do it tonight, but you do get it mailed to you if you want, emailed to you if you do, and you'll see the instructions when we get there later. So I won't spend any time with it, but with this one, if you have a Pung of Flowers and a Kong of Winds, any one of the winds up there, well, guess what? Your hand is definitely a dead giveaway. A lot, and there are several situations where there are two exposures that are only to that significant to that particular hand. Some of them are not easy to find, but others, like this one, is just easy. Pretty much all of the winds, when you start exposing them, are pretty much dead giveaways. But some of them have multiple places, so you don't know it's just one hand. Okay, another challenging hand here is our 1 north, 2 east, 3 west, and 4 south. Literally spelled out like that. These numbers only, in the beginning, even though I kept reading the parenthetical, for some reason, I kept thinking it was any numbers. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, couldn't be, because this stands for 1 north, 2 east. You got it. I know you got it already. But it is a little bit of a challenging hand. I've seen people make it already, but I have. Let's see, did I make it yet? I don't think I've made it yet. Anyway, it is fun, and so challenge yourself to make that hand. Guess what we got in 369? Another floating pair hand right here. And I just got a question through Messenger just about an hour ago. And somebody wasn't quite sure how this hand played out. Same way that 13579 does. That pair of threes can float. So it can be this in the 6 position or the 9, less numbers to work with here than the 13579, even less than the consecutive run. But whatever the pair is, you've got to match those Kongs to that pair. So that's kind of a fun hand there too. I don't know if you guys can see, but my mouse has been jumping a little bit. Okay, singles and pairs. I love my singles and pairs, and I always like to spend and touch just a little bit on it. But remember, these hands are all baby bits of one of the other bigger hands, of one of the other bigger categories. So if you have no jokers to start, why not try it? You're not trapped there, okay? Let's say you've got 3 discards and your next pick is a joker. Well, you still got discards, and then you don't get any jokers, but then you get one of your tiles in, and you have to decide, do I get rid of the joker? What do I do? Do I bail? You don't want to bail if you get one joker, but if you start getting multiple jokers and you still have discards to get rid of, then why not try it? You can always bounce out of this category into the category that fits it. 2468, 2468 category, 369 category. Even the north, east, west, south. Up here, you can go. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 consecutive. That might be a bit more challenging, but 1 through 5, you've got that option, and it could be any 7 numbers. So if you've got 5 through 9, more of those, bump up to line 1 of consecutive run. And the 13579, I mean, they're all pieces of another category. And then we've got our 2026, the hardest hand. That one to me is probably the hardest one to bounce out of, but maybe not so much like numbers with 2s. I see that right there. And you've got this couple of soaps already, like numbers with twos. It could be line number 2 or line number 3 of any like numbers there. So try it. Don't just say, I'm not playing it. I saw somebody actually take a piece of paper and cover over their entire singles and pairs hand because they said their teacher taught them not to play that category because it's too hard. Can you relate? Can any one of you relate to this? I know there's a couple of you out there. I'm not going to hold you to putting up your hand or anything. Okay. All right, let's go back now to, we're going to talk about some switchable sections here. So on the left side of the card, you could definitely keep track of this whole left panel if you wanted to. The 2, 4, 6, 8, it's got the 4 and it's got the 8 in there. So it's not as user-friendly as maybe the 2026 category and any like numbers, but you certainly can. So what I like to do when I'm teaching, and here's one point I'm going to make about different philosophies. There are teachers out there that do teach a beginner player to pick one hand and stick to that one hand the entire game. For those of you that know me, that is not my philosophy. It couldn't be any further away from my philosophy. And what I teach is to be able to keep track of more than one thing. Do I have a new player keep track of 5 things like I can do, sometimes 6 things? No, but 2 or 3 different things I do teach. And I feel that if you learn the right way to begin with, even though it might be a little challenging in the beginning, you're going to be a much better player after, and you're not going to have to change after you've learned to play one hand to then all of a sudden be playing multiple hands. That to me is way harder because it's much easier to learn the right way than to change a habit later. That's just my viewpoint. But if you've got twos, you got a lot of twos, and you want to keep track of 2, 4, 6, 8, you got twos and sixes, you want to keep some 4s and 8s in there, you can do that. But certainly any like numbers, these 2 categories can certainly be kept an eye on. So we're just going to talk about the different things that really will help you realize how easily it is to be able to switch between different things. And I don't have every single thing because if I did, I'd have pages and pages and pages and we would be on here for hours. So, but I took the ones that I thought were most important. Okay, so this one here, especially under 2, 4, 6, 8. Absolutely. If you were going for this hand, I would be keeping an eye on this here for sure, 100%, because you've got the two in here. You have a conga twos and another conga twos. So absolutely a great option for you to be able to keep an eye on it. Don't get like linear focused. You have to broaden your horizon when it comes to the card. All right, let's go here. And of course, when we keep track of any of these hands, if we were doing this hand and you didn't have a lot of flowers, or you knew you weren't going to be getting a sextet, then certainly line 2 and 3, those 2 hands would be absolutely perfect ones to keep an eye on with this hand up here. All right, let's look at the consecutive run. Look at these hands. Look at how similar these hands are. This is a concealed hand. So why not challenge yourself to play this hand, but have your backup hand ready? Look at how similar. I mean, except for the 4th number, but it's a nice option to keep track of it, because if for any reason you had a run, let's say you had 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you just saw the 3rd 6 go out that you needed in the 3rd suit here, then you could definitely be comfortable switching up here. Those are so close. And then we have our 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. And this hand here, look at how close those are. Another definite possibility for you to keep an eye on that hand at the same time you're keeping an eye on that hand. There's a lot of good switchables on this card. Matter of fact, maybe too many. Like I told you, I think my head has been spinning a little bit with this card. Now we've got quints. Okay, yep. Quints definitely require jokers. But look at this hand, 1, 2, 3, and that's any consecutive numbers in one suit. Why not try it if you've got a few jokers to start with? Don't just not look at quints because it's a scary section or maybe your instructor told you not to play them. But if you are going to keep an eye on that, look at how many hands in consecutive run are one suit. Lots, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. That was too quick. Lots of them. You've got lots of options. And while you're playing any one of these, you can keep an eye on the others. Don't just pick one hand. You've got to leave your options open. And I really mean that. It's going to make you a better player. It's going to afford you more mahjongs. And that's what you want to have happen. So that's really amazing how many one suit hands there are on that side there. And then we've got our 1, 2, 3, 4, our two suit, and our 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 here. So you've got some good switchables there, or multiple hands to keep track of, and our mixed suit here. So again, keep your eyes open. If you're playing multiple suits in a consecutive run, you want to look and say, oh, are there other hands I can also be keeping an eye on? Are there other tiles that I need to keep and not quickly get rid of because I'm only focusing on one hand? All right, and this one as well, the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So you can easily keep an eye on multiple hands when you're doing multiple suits in a run. Right now we're going to look at the 2026 and the 1, 3, I mean the any like numbers and the 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Now this gets a little bit more challenging. Oh, I see a little row. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that, and I can't do it in here, but I see a little something that's over there that I have to take out. Something mysterious there. But any like numbers. Okay, this is a little more challenging when you go from one panel of the card to another in keeping track than it is to keep track of multiple things in one one category on one panel. So any like numbers, and this hand here, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 with the congs of ones, whatever it is, if you're 3, if you've got the 5, the 7, the 9, let's just say you're playing it exactly like this, and you need the 3, 2 are out, and then the third goes out, and you know you only have one chance left. If that hand goes belly up, man, you got a switchable category here. Those are things that I want you to really see. And of course, any like numbers as well with this first line in quints and any like numbers here. All three of these are really great. And I have here lots of jokers. Why not? That's what I say. Lots of jokers. Why not try it and do it? And if things don't work out the way you want them to work out, you can always switch out. All right, let's move on now to the middle category here of quints and 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Now we're looking at our one suits in the same category. All right. Okay. So one suit, one suit, one suit, one suit, all but the dragons are one suit. Again, these are all things you can keep track of if you want to. So just open your eyes to be like, oh, I'm going to play this hand, but maybe I also need to keep some 9s. Or maybe I'm going to keep the same dragons and the opposing dragons. You're going to get better at doing that the more you try to do it. but those are the types of things that are definitely going to get you to the next level. And then we have our 2026 bottom hand there, which is not concealed. And this hand here is a great switchable with this Winds and Dragons hand. Since this is a concealed hand, you definitely want to protect yourself. Anytime you're playing a concealed hand, you want to protect yourself by having at least one backup, if not more. That's a great backup right there. And then this hand here with the 3, 6, 9 and the threes, if that were to go belly up because of the singles there, again, any like numbers would definitely be a great backup. Okay, so let's talk now. Okay, so we're done with that right there. And again, once we open it up to Q&A, hopefully you've got some questions for me or comments or even additions. I love to hear them. And last, what I want to talk about is the variations that come back each year, the patterns of the hands, rather than variations that come back each year, that come back, the hands that come back with different patterns. Okay, I got that out. It took me a minute. This year, what we're seeing is pung, pung, kong, kong. Last year, we had pung, kong, pung, kong. So every year, the hands that return with this sort of variant, change of the groupings, we have the 2, 4, 6, 8, hand number 1, both left and right side. That last year was the same hand, but it was in different groupings. We had pung, kong, pung, kong. So we have to get our brains now used to pung, pung, kong, kong. And after you've been playing for a few years like myself, it's easy to adjust, but not so easy to adjust if you're a newer player. You kind of just keep repeating that over and over again, and eventually it just becomes second nature. The next hand that also is a pung, pung, kong, kong this year is 3, 6, 9 hand number 1, and under 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 hand number 2, left and right side. And the Winds and Dragons hand number 1, left and right side, that sometimes changes, but this year it is exactly the same as last year. So it didn't change, but it is there, and it does have 2 pungs and 2 kongs, but not pung, pung, kong, kong. It has kong, pung, pung, kong. But that is one that comes back with a slightly different variation, and it's identical. Then we have our pair, pung, kong, which was last year pair, pung, kong, pung, pair. And which hands is that in? And that's again something that comes back every year and changes up just the groupings. So we've got consecutive run line 1, hand number 1. We have the, oh, actually, it should say right, left, and right side. Consecutive run number 1, left and right side. I just noticed that's missing. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, hand number 1, left and right side. And those are the ones. So the only oddball here is our Winds and Dragons, which are identical this year, but they change, but for the last 2 years, they've remained identical with 2 pungs and 2 kongs in the same order that they are on. Okay. All right, now moving on to some facts about the cards. We have 72 hands on the card, not including singles and pairs. You could just add those in there. You have sextets appear after 18 years of not being on the card. There are 2 hands with sextets. Our pungs of flowers are back again. We love them. 2, 4, 6, 8, hand number 5. And this year is exactly the same, identical. Did not change either. So those 2 hands, this one and 2, 4, and the Winds and Dragons. Winds and Dragons hand 1 is exactly the same. Those 2 right there. 3 sections have no concealed hands, and 1 section has 2 concealed hands this year. With runs consisting, that needs an S, of singles this year that can use every number, every tile can be a hot tile up until the very last discard. So we've got that same situation again. There's no safe tile unless you are pretty sure based on what's on the table and what's in exposures that you are safe. So you got to pay a lot more attention. And I think this is a fact, but I highlighted it and I did send out an email to a few experts, but I haven't gotten an answer. So if anybody who's watching knows this answer, I'd love to know it. That there have never been wins in the 2, 4, 6, 8 section and possibly the 3, 6, 9. Not 100% sure, but I'd love to know and hear it if you know it. Now, my overall take is that this card is a very flexible card with many options to pivot, many, many, many. Though lots of pungs of flowers make me happy, girl. I don't know about you, but I love my pungs of flowers. Many of the hands are interesting and fun. I already missed the news hand in 13579. Any of you? I already missed what some people are calling the junk hand in the 2468 section, the one that had the conga flowers, the singles, 2468 with the two pungs of either twos, four, sixes, or eights. And my brain definitely feels like it's on fire with this card. I'm continually saying to myself, how many things can you keep track of at one time? I hope some of you are feeling the same exact thing that I am feeling about this card. Okay, a few more card insights. Now, there are some dead giveaways with two exposures, which include line number 5 of Winds and Dragons, and of course, Winds and Dragons as a whole. And I did mention that earlier. Another thing that I did want to mention is a lot of statistics that are given by some other experts that do the card review. They talk about more like the shapes of the hands. They talk about don't pass this number in the Charleston. I could do those statistics too, but the shape thing, I'm not much big into sombrero shapes and all that. I don't know how that really helps me with Mahjong. Uh, but I want to make a point about not passing certain tiles. Like, if you were thinking about sixes because of 2026 and the 2468, any like numbers, consecutive run, what hands are going to have the most numbers? Don't pass this tile during the Charleston. For me, that doesn't matter as much to me as what tiles I've been dealt and what those tiles are saying to me. That's my first concern. Those tiles speak to me and they tell me what I should be playing. I'm not going to hold a tile that doesn't suit me or my purpose or my goal because I'm afraid to pass that tile, that number. Okay, I have some parameters that I like to pass and that follow, and that is I don't like to pass flowers or dragons during the Charleston. Why don't I like to pass flowers or dragons? Well, because I don't know if I'm going to need them. So if I don't know if I'm going to need them, why would I be getting rid of them? I do see some beginners, sometimes they do that because they automatically say, I'm not playing a hand with flowers and I'm not playing a hand with dragons. Maybe because they don't understand how the dragons work. Well, if that's your case, well, we need to have a conversation after this, okay? So reach out to me. But seriously, you need to know your opposing dragons, what dragons match the suits really well. You can't play this game halfway. You've got to play it the entire way. And that includes playing every hand, the entire card. All right, what's another reason? Because from a defensive standpoint, single dragons are back again. So that's a really good reason not to pass dragons if you could help it. But since you're going to keep them because you don't know if you're going to play them, it's a good reason not to pass them. Same thing with flowers. Flowers are in high demand this year. That means they could be your friend too. Don't make it somebody else's friend. Okay, all right. So I'm going to just go over a couple more things and I'm going to tell you about my little challenge that I do each year. But my next humongous event is in January of 2027, and it's in Howie in the Hills at the Mission Resort. It's a social play and a competitive play event. You've got different days to choose that you want to go. You don't have to do all 3 days. Please visit MahjCon.com and consider coming and supporting me. And I'd love to meet you guys. So come, have fun. It's just a hoot. We do so many fun things during this event. It's just not the typical event. This event probably looks different than most any others that are out there, I would say. And the last thing I want to talk about is the cruise, which is next March. We just got through with the Mahjong cruise. We had so much fun. I can't even tell you. You could also reach out to me about any details about this or call the travel agent about this particular cruise. But we're looking forward to this next one, and it's going to be a little bit longer. So we're going to have more Mahjong than we did this current one. Okay, so this is the fun little challenge that I do. Every year I put together two exposures that are unique to a particular hand. Now, I don't use every combination. So if something says you could use 2, 4, 6, 8, I may not be using every combination, but I got quite a few of them. Let's put it that way. And if you want to get your test and answer key, I'm going to show you what it looks like in a minute. You can email me and ask me to send you the PDF of the test and answer key in a separate PDF. All right, as well as I'll be happy to send you the PDF of this presentation if you want it. I'm just not going to send it out to everybody, but if you want it, fine. So we have 4 on this page. We have another 4 here, another 4 here, another 4 here, and 3 here. Why is this so important? Because this helps you figure out what your opponent is playing. So it's a fun little challenge to do, especially when you're starting out with the new card. So go ahead and try and challenge yourself with this little test here and see how you do. All right, and I will have that, like I said, I'll have that answer key for you. Okay, so I'm going to open it up. Let's see, it's perfect. It's 8:04. I was hoping to hop onto iLoveMahj and play a few rounds with the new card, but I want to open it up right now to Q&A. So I'm going to stop sharing.
On the I Love Mahj
Mhm,
website,
mhm.
are there any, I know that there's some exercises that they offer. Are there any on there that you would highly recommend to help us learn this new card?
Oh, absolutely. We're going to head over there right now, so I'll point them out.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so I'll definitely point them out. We'll do that in just a minute. Did I have somebody else? Is that the only question, Nancy?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I Love Mahj, which is an amazing website. It is the most intuitive gaming platform to play American Mahjong out there. They have intelligence built into the box, which is phenomenal. And they have the exercise room. So, Nancy, you specifically said, is there an exercise that I would recommend? Well, first of all, I spent a lot of time in here also when I first got the card to get familiar with each one of them. The make a hand exercise is phenomenal. That goes through every single line and every hand on the card. So you could do that over and over again. And I do encourage you to make sure that you look at the parenthetical and not just make it the way you see it in that parenthetical, that you try and change it up. And then the other one is, what hand is that? That is going to display a couple of exposures, not like my little test that I'm giving you. My test is just 2 unique exposures to one particular hand. Okay, that's what makes my little test a little more challenging. This one could be any 2 exposures. Some are easier than others, but nonetheless, this is really good. So my suggestion for learning the card would be make a hand, and what hand is that? That would be the first one that I would do. If you like Mahjong, which is like Wordle, and you're familiar with Mahjong, I'm not really a Mahjong player, So if you understand the rules of Mahjong, it works exactly the same way when you're trying to build a Mahjong hand. That would also be good too. All right, so here we go. We are now at the game Launchpad here, and I'm going to be playing against, so I better get my mojo on because it is definitely still a new card to me. So somebody said, how do I get your test? Eileen, check the chat. Oh, I didn't do the chat yet. Oh, because I did it to the waiting room people. That would help. I sent it to the waiting room. Nobody's there. All right, I just put my email there. I'm so sorry about that. Okay, so we have our bot intelligence. Standard is beginner, intermediate, and advanced. I don't use standard mainly because I'm not a beginner player, but also because the standard bots do make some really silly mistakes. Like they may pass flowers in the Charleston or pairs or throw an obviously hot tile at the end of the game and things like that. If you want to make mahjongs more and you're newer to the game, use standard. That's fine. I want you to feel good about yourself in the game and all that. But if you start winning a lot, move up to intermediate. The difference between level 2 and 3 is not significant enough for you to have to worry about going from intermediate to advanced. What's the difference? The advanced players know how to call a hand dead. They recognize dead hands. And also, if you were to ask, if you stop the Charleston and you ask for a tile in the optional, the advanced bots will decline, which is what you should do. And if you don't do it, you just learned a little bit of strategy. All right, so
I've seen a couple questions about how you get on iLoveMahj.
oh, okay. So how do we get on iLoveMahj? All right, good deal here. Okay, here it is, iLoveMahj.com. You're going to sign up and go ahead and register. When you get to the point where it says, do you have a promo code? If you put in my initials, uppercase D, uppercase B, for me, Debbie Barnett, uppercase D, uppercase B, instead of getting 2 weeks to try it out for free, you'll get 3. It is the best investment you can possibly make. I am serious because not only can you play with the bots, but you can also play with your friends here. I don't have enough time to go through all that, but I do have tutorials or videos rather on my YouTube channel. You can also email me. You know, anytime you have questions, you need help with anything, just let me know. I'm more than happy to help you. Yes, uppercase D, uppercase B is the promo code. Perfect. Okay, somebody put that in chat. I don't know who, but somebody did. All right, so let's go ahead and launch the game. And open to live games, no. If you say yes by accident, somebody who's online is going to invite you to their table. And you don't know if that player is a beginner, intermediate, or advanced player, but you'll find out soon because if it's an advanced player and you're taking your time, you're going to have a text or you're going to have, if you're using your audio, they're going to be bugging you. Are you going to go? What are you waiting for? Come on. You know, so we're going to say no. We're going to say no to that. Make sure if you've never been in here before that you come in and choose the 2026 card. If you do not use the 2026 card, it's going to default to the 2025 card. So I just want to make sure that you do that. They also have the big card and they have their own card. So if you want to play other cards, you can. Why not? It's fun. You're playing with yourself. You don't have to worry about everybody having the card, right? So I'm going to pick the 2026. The timer is to gauge how long it's taking for you to decide on a discard. This is a great thing for you if you're a newer player to help yourself speed up the game. Start out with 10 seconds. If you run out of time, there is the 2 vertical lines that represent the pause button that we're all familiar with. You could still pause it, but most fast players are down to 4 seconds with understanding that everybody needs a little bit of extra time now and then. We all need to think every once in a while about what we're doing, especially when we're between a couple of hands and we're now having to make a decision, that kind of thing. So don't worry, but for tonight, we're going to leave it off so that we don't have to worry about a timer. And what else? We've got color themes. I'm not going to show you that. There's different types of tiles. They have a relationship with the Mah Jongg line. So if you're a fan of their tiles, they have beautiful tiles in here. You could play with those and learn the tiles because they do look a little different than the standard ones. They even have, by the way, a just mention this here, large print if you're sight impaired. So that's really nice for anybody that is. All right, we're going to start this game. And now I could turn down my volume because it is really loud. And I just want to make one adjustment to my audio. If I can find it. Yep. I do like to adjust my audio when I start to play to stereo. Okay, perfect. All right, I sort my tiles by suit. That's just how I've been accustomed to doing it since I learned when I was 26, and I continue to do it that way. And I typically move my dragons and winds down to the right. Why do I do that? I don't know. I always say it's because Winds and Dragons has its own category on the right side of the card, so I move them to the right, but I don't know. What I don't suggest that you do is match your dragons up and put them next to the suits that they go with. This to me is confusing, I think, because not all dragons go with the suit. Sometimes the hands use opposite dragons. So I don't put them there. Not only that, dragons and winds have their own category. And sometimes they don't even go, you don't even have any suits in some of them. So, or suit tiles, I should say. So I'm going to keep them there. So hopefully you guys have been looking at this really good to help me, because I'm going to be looking at it too. I normally look at, not normally, I always look at my multiples. What is a multiple? A multiple isn't two twos in different suits. A multiple is two identical tiles or three identical tiles, or if you got lucky enough to get four identical tiles, that would be even more amazing. We've got a pair of flowers, and that's a nice start. I like that. We have a pair of reds. I like that too. So those are things that I might want to concentrate on to start with. So I'm going to move those there. Now, looking at the flowers and the two reds, I might want to look at, take a quick peek at Winds and Dragons. Right now, I have only an East, but if I wanted to keep it for, let's say, the second hand up under Winds and Dragons on the right side, we'll say left and right. So if I say left, you'll know it's left side of that line. The hand on the right side, it has dragons and it has east and west. So I would keep this other one too. Now, notice I don't have multiples here. So now I've really got to take a close look. And what I'd like to do is put my tiles into evens and odds when I don't have any multiple of suit tiles. It gives me a nicer reference to say, well, you know what? You've got more odds. So maybe you'll start out with the odds, right? So if I did that and I move these guys down, see, I'm going to build on to these. So right now I've said, oh, I'm going to keep these, right? Now I can't just do that because that would be putting all my eggs in just one hand. So we don't want to do that. Move these down. And now I'm going to look at this odd category. And I'm going to think about is there anything on the left panel that I could use? Well, yes, I could use these fives because fives are like numbers. That's a possibility. It's a definite possibility. So I've got that. And I've also got like numbers with ones. So maybe I'll do that. Now, I could further go into saying, well, which one of these would I keep? Well, maybe I'm just going to keep the 3 right now. the only hand under 13579 that uses opposite dragons is the bottom concealed hand. So, you know, whether these tiles are really going to work out for me in that category, I don't know, but I do like the fact that I have some like numbers, right? So this would be a very pretty pass if I were to do this. It is a beautiful pass. So I actually am going to, if you had stuff here that you absolutely did not want to get rid of, and you had to do this, I want you to worry more about what you're building than worrying about what you're passing. Try to follow that. Don't pass flowers, and try to keep your dragons and things like that. Don't pass pairs for sure. But if I wanted to make this a little bit more of a benign pass, which I really would love to keep all this. I'd love to see what happens with all of this. It would just be so fun and interesting. What would I do? Maybe the 3. Maybe I'll consider right now the like numbers and do the 3 to mix it up a bit. No, maybe I'll do the East. Maybe I'll do the East and keep the 3. So I will get rid of one of these, and I will do the East. So I think I'll do that. I mean, I have to make a choice. Okay, so let's see what we've got here. Let's see. Cynthia, you said I had an enlarged screen, so it was out of view. I wonder why. I don't know about that. Okay, so Robin said I would pass the 1 dot and keep the 2 crack. Okay, for like numbers, I'm assuming you're saying. No, because like numbers is here. Okay, are you saying because of the flowers 1, 2 with the soap? Or the 1, 2, 3 with the opposite dragons? Let's look at that. Okay, so it would have to be 1, 2, 3, like this. Actually, this is pretty. Is that the hand, Robin, that you were looking at? And somebody said, well, I get rid of the East because I can't keep it all, that's for sure. But this hand here, this is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th hand down, right side, under consecutive run. Nope, this doesn't work with the red. That's the opposite. It would be this way. That's how it would go. So, oops, sorry. We have the 2 crack. All right. So it would be like this. So is that what you were saying? Oh, somebody said keep the 2 crack because it matches the red. But yeah, the 2 crack does match the red, but so does the 5 crack. All right, look at this hand. That hand, line 5, flowers, 1s and 3s are the same suit. The 2 is a second suit with matching dragons. I've got a whole hand there with no missing pieces. There are no gaps in this hand at all. That is pretty. So I don't think I need the 2. I honestly don't think, because I do have like numbers, a lot of like number stuff going on here. I've got all of this toward the bottom hand. It's not as pretty as this consecutive run, but any like numbers, the 3rd one could be possible. I'm going to do this. I think that's what I'm going to do. Let's see. Could be good or bad or indifferent. Oh, then I get 1s. Lovely. Interesting. 1, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. Nope. All right, so I'm not going to keep, I think I'm going to still continue here. I'm not sure whether I want to keep the 1s or not, whether they're going to help me with any like numbers. They could possibly, because this is any like numbers here with 5s. But the pair, I might want to keep it for a little bit. What do you guys think? Any like numbers with 1s is good, but I've got 3 5s. But I think maybe this makes more sense. And this is going to be one of those things. I don't care about passing the same number. I just don't care about it. Okay. If it was 2 5 dots, I would care. But I don't care about two like numbers. I just don't care. My feeling is, what are the chances Joe is playing with fives, any like numbers? I mean, it may be more important, if there were sixes, maybe it'd be a little bit more to think about, but I still wouldn't worry about it. So I'm going to do this. And I'd forget the 2 3. The one, what 2 3? Are you talking about the flower 1 2 3 with the dragons, Regina? You got to tell me why you would forget it. I kind of like this. I still have like numbers to work with. And what did she say? Keep the 9 BM for 1 3 5 7 9 with the dragons. 1 3 5 7 9 with the dragons. 1 3 5 1 3 5 7 9 with the dragons. 1 3 5 7 9 with the opposite dragons, the concealed hand. I don't know. I'm probably going to be tending to, yeah, 2 pairs are hard to get. Yeah, it is. It is hard to get. But I got other backups. So the concealed hand, 1 3 5, I have those, but it is a concealed hand. I don't know, maybe. Let me look. Let me relook. So then I would do one of these and forget about like numbers with ones. Then I'm looking at, let's do the hand. 1 3 5 7 9. I don't have the sevens, but that doesn't mean I can't get it. That's the hand. We'll name that Regina's hand. Was it Regina? Yeah. Regina and Diane said yes. Okay, so that would be that one. And then we just forego any like numbers with ones, which is an exposed hand. It would be easier, but we could try that. So we're going to keep an eye on 1 2 3 with the dragons. We'll keep an eye on that other hand. Oh, I wish I had a third option. Let's see. Put floating pair hand under as a backup. Okay, let me look at that. Floating pair hand as a backup. Well, if I did a floating pair hand, then I have to keep, I have to keep both. And then I won't be able to keep track of the 1 2 3. The only hand that I currently have no gaps in, you all want me to abandon that right in the Charleston because it's got the 2 pairs up front. Oh, God. Yikes. Okay. Give me a vote. Do you want me to abandon this hand entirely? This very pretty hand right here? Okay, I have a no. I have an abandon, I have a no, I have a no, I have more no's than abandon. Okay, good. Now, which hand do you want me to keep as a backup? The floating pair hand, which if I did that, I have to pass this. Okay, I have no's, many, many more no's than abandon. Okay, all right. So I'm going to pass the soap. I think that will be my decision. I don't love to pass, like it, dragons, but I said if you can help it. I don't like to pass the soap because it's got a dual role, but I think that makes sense. We're going to keep an eye on the floating pair hand. See, one of the things, I have to rethink this a little bit. Oh, God. So the reason I like the any like numbers is I could use the flowers in the third hand, which is not concealed this year. In the floating pair hand, there's no flowers. Does that make you reconsider that I should do a 1 and not a soap? Anybody? No? All right. The answer was no. Okay, I'm going for it. Let's do it, baby. All right, this is okay. Now I have one more tile toward that hand. I know jokers can be, flowers can be used as jokers bait. You're absolutely right. I like the first concealed hand in 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 as a backup. Okay, let's see. 1, 3, 5, and the ones with the flowers. That's a really nice too. Very nice. Matter of fact, that's even nicer, Regina, than the floating pair hand. What are we going to do now? So we're doing this and this. And if I want to keep an eye on the 1, 3, 5, the first concealed hand, we got to keep these with the 5. Got to keep these and these. I could do a blind pass. What about 1, 2, 3, bam? 1, 2, 3, bam. Yeah, I could do that too, but I think we got a lot going on here right now. So I got to pass something, and I'm not going to break up anything here because I do like 1, 3, 5. I do like the second from the bottom, the concealed 1, 3. That's really pretty. Let's put it together so you can see how pretty it is. There it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fifth hand. The fifth hand is 1, 3, 5 with the matching dragons. Randy, is that what you're talking about? No, I'm not sure. But this one is second from the bottom. Look at that. How pretty. Okay. Regina says get rid of the 2 crack instead of the 2 bam. Wow. Everybody says no. Do not get rid of the 2 crack instead of the 2 bam. Okay, what tiles? All right, right now, go in chat. Give me the 3 tiles that you want. The 3 tiles I should pass. Just say north, 2 bam, 9 bam. North, 2 crack, 9 crack. I'm looking. Okay, 9 bam, north, 2 bam. 9 bam, north, 2 bam. North, 2 bam, and blind. North, 2 crack. North, 2 bam, 9. North, 2. Okay, the majority says this, or one person said to do a blind. Just pass 2. Blind pass. Okay, I got double both ways. Okay, we'll do a blind. Okay, we are going to do a blind. So here we go. Very interesting. Okay, before I hit whether I'm going to stop or continue, I want to see how many of you would stop. How many of you would continue? Continue 1, continue 2, continue 3. Absolutely do not stop. Continue. Good job, everybody. You all know me. You all know me. You've been hanging out with me way too long. Okay, here we go.
Second Charleston.
Bam. Now what do we get rid of? 2, 4. I have 2, 4, 9 is my choice. 2, 4, 9, 2, 4, 9. It is what it is. So we've got 2 hands. One's concealed. One's got singles. Yeah, still a possibility. We could go down to the any like numbers, line 3. All right, we've got options. Here we go. All right, good. I get a breather because I don't have to think about much right now. Okay, and again, we've got a little bit of a breather. So we'll do this.
Courtesy pass.
Okay, and let's see.
8, 9.
8 and 9, and we're keeping the 1 for any like numbers. Everybody agree? Yes, we do. Okay, there we go. Okay, I love to talk about prioritizing discards, so I'll do that just for a moment. But I always get rid of whatever came back to me at the end of the Charleston. Opposite of what you might be thinking, which would be, why not hold them and not get rid of them all because they've been going around and around? Well, because I have proven this strategy more than once while playing, and that is that there are many times a player had to let go of a tile when they had a tough decision to make and they're hoping to get it back. So getting that tile out early makes it harder for them to build their hand. And so how is it proven? Well, when I've discarded the tiles that came back to me in the Charleston, somebody calls it right away. And I knew that's exactly what happened. So that's the deal. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the 2 and 4 anyway first, and then I always get out fresh tiles. That's my strategy, fresh tile strategy. Earlier the better. You have plenty of time to double up on things. But get out the newest tiles are the ones that are the most important. Then you double up, and then you can triple up, etc., etc. So let's go and
2 dot. 4 dot.
I'm going to need help keeping track of what
Flower.
I'm playing here. Okay, so of course I could call this, but I'm not gonna because I don't even have one of my pairs secured yet, and my other groupings are not in place. So I can't call it. Nonetheless, for the hand that I was keeping an eye on, which is, which hand is it now? The one, where is it? How come I can't find it? How come I can't find it? Oh, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Like this, sorry. So obviously this is too early to even consider calling it, so it's going to be an ignored. Yes, 1, 3, 5 with the ones, that I have right there. So we've got the ones there. So this is going to be an ignore right now.
Flower.
Yeah. So the other one, we could put it together for now if you want. Both of them look pretty. I don't want to get rid of anything I need. Ignore, another flower out the door. So flowers are getting discarded really early because of the sextets. In other years, sometimes you can hold them for a while, but people are getting rid of them. My bot friends are getting rid of them early because of those sextets. So we're going to go ahead and say ignore. And so the 2 and 4 are out. So either of them are going to go out now. You see, I'm already doubling up.
2 dot. 6 bam. Call. Soap.
All right, we've got an early exposure here by Joe with a 6 bam available for Joker Exchange. There's that
6
soap
crack.
that I probably ended up with him. And ignore. Another 2 dot. My goodness. I'm going to do the 4 first.
4 dot. 3 dot. 7 dot. 6 crack.
This will be fun to see what we get in. All right, so instead of doing the 2, which beginners do, that's normal until you understand why you don't do the 2 and why you do the 9 instead. The earlier you get out a tile, the harder it is for people to call for an exposure, or if they need a Kong and they're not ready for it, they're seeing one of their tiles go out. You experience it all the time. You watch your tiles go out early and you say, oh my God, there goes a tile and I can't call it. That's an example. You're receiving that example on the other end. So just get out the freshest tiles first.
9 dot. 4 bam. 8 bam. 2 dot.
Well, nobody needed 2 dots, right? But we don't know that for sure. Remember, every tile can be a hot tile to the very, very end. Well, now we have 1, 3, 5, line number 5, and to look about. So now we have 3 distinct hands. One, line 4, line 5 in consecutive, and line, or second from the bottom in 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So we're going to get rid of the 2 dot. And when we get in another tile, it's going to be decision time. And we're going to have to go from the concealed, second from the bottom. Got it. Got it covered. Here we go.
2 dot. Soap. 3 dot.
So we will eventually be,
Flour.
oh my goodness gracious, me oh my. Obviously, I am not in a position to be calling it period the end, so I just have to ignore it. This is going to be third. I have 5. There are 3 left. But at least I
Call.
could
5
use,
dot.
oh, if that is not, the joker's not taken by the time we get there, then we have to talk about that. But all the hands that oh my God, except for the pungs, oh, this is going to be a challenge. Well, we'll talk
8
about it if
bam.
nobody takes it.
7 dot.
Okay, so if I don't take a flower, somebody else is going to take it. So we could look at it 2 ways. If we were to play the concealed hand, we need that pair. So we either just say, okay, let someone else get the joker, or we take a look at the other hands that we're considering and see, and the only other one that, well, there's 2. The 1, 2, 3 with the dragons, which has a pung, and the 1, 3, 5 with the matching dragons. So would you let this go? Would you let the joker go? Or would you take it? Now, no, there's 2 out already. 2 in his hand, 2 in my hand. I have several take the joker, let it go. Take it, take it, take it, let it go. Oh, come on, you guys. I need more of one over the other. I'm like even Steven here. Oh, God. Okay. I've got lots and lots of now YouTube, there is a little delay in when I get their answers, but I'm trying to look at both. So you are, what do I do here? Grab it. I got a YouTube just came in because there is a definite delay. And what did my husband say? My husband said, let it go. Oh, gee. Ooh, let it go. Mary said, let it go. Take it and go with another hand. Take it, take it. Grab it. Let it go. Oh my goodness gracious. Take it, take it. Diane, I'm looking for you. I didn't see you vote on this one. I need another couple of votes. Let it go. Let it go. Oh, I've gotten way more let it goes. Way more let it goes. Let it go. Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm going to let it go. Let's see, 2, 4, 6. That means there's only 2 other flowers somewhere. I'm going to let it go. I'm going to let it go. I think that's kind of the right thing to do. That's what I'm feeling. Okay?
North. 2 bam. 8 dot. 7 crack. 9 crack.
Now,
West.
you notice I'm not really worried about what I'm throwing at this point. With 1 exposure here, we could look at the different hands and figure things out a little bit, but that wouldn't be wise to do at this point of the game. Just play. You could play quickly at this point of the game. We're at 73 tiles left. So if you think of the game in thirds, the first 33 tiles, you could really play pretty quickly. The second 33, you can also play quickly, but you're starting to have to think a little bit more and pay more attention. The last 33, the end game, is when you really are paying attention. And a lot more goes into thought about what you're throwing and why and what you're doing and all that good stuff. Lots to think about in this game, let me tell you.
9 bam. 2 crack.
Okay, there's 1, 2 crack. I plant that in my brain. And we do not need that.
6 crack. 8 dot. Green.
No,
Call.
no
9
jokers,
dot.
by the way. Did you notice I have no jokers? And we didn't really look at singles and pairs in the beginning because I didn't really have a whole lot that kind of pointed there in the beginning. So let's see, ignore. And we don't need that. Okay, now
6
notice
dot.
Agatha's 3
South.
greens there, right? So we're probably going to abandon that hand for sure, with 3 greens. So the 1-3-5 with the matching dragon doesn't look like it's going to be in our corner.
East. North. West. 1 bam.
Okay, there's a 1 bam. So that's one of the pair for that consecutive run line number 5 that I'm going to plant in my brain.
West. West.
Nobody wants those wins. Nope. There's one. Okay. I just wanted to check here. 1, 2, 3 with the matching dragon. Again, it's the green, so we're not going to keep this at all.
2 bam. 8 dot. East. 1 dot.
Too bad. It's concealed. And for the any like numbers, it isn't happening yet. I have no jokers. I need some jokers. Oh, ouch. Let's play with that and see how it looks. Took the wrong one. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. It looks nice. All right, we still can get rid of the green and still can keep track of the second from the bottom. So right now we're down to 2 hands, consecutive run line 5 or the second from the bottom. So we've got, again, once we get rid of the green and we get in another tile, it's going to make us, it's going to force us to choose at some point.
Green. 8 dot. 1 dot.
So what other one went out earlier? I could have sworn I saw. Oh, no, not that one. The 1 bam went out. Oh, 1 dot right here. So I'm going to, 2 of those are going out. That means I need for that concealed hand. I definitely need a joker there and I can't call it. So
9 crack.
why am I not getting 1, 3, 1, 3, 5? I see other hands, but 1 dot. Dorothy, you said 1 dot, but I wasn't sure what you said about it. 1 dot, I can't take it because it's a concealed hand.
3 dot joker swap. 3 bam.
Oh, somebody got it. All right, so there's a 3 bam. Obviously, if I were to take this, I could call the flower now, but let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's only 1 left, so nobody's going to be keeping it. They're probably going to get rid of it. I think. We don't know. But it is risky. I have no jokers at all. So we are at 50 tiles left, and let me see. I could have sworn another 3 bam went out. It did not go out. It is a Kong. Everybody wants me to take it. I'm feeling like I have to take it. It is definitely risky. There's 1 bam out. Ugh. And I definitely hate to do this when I have not even 1 joker. What? Not even 1 joker. Okay, I'm calling it. Relax, everybody. I am going to call it. I swear I'm going to do it right now. So we're going to now be committing to line 5 in consecutive run and say a few players. Say a few prayers. All righty. So we're going to call this baby for a pung.
Call.
And now we can get rid of 1, 2, 3 there. We can get rid of these. So how do we decide what ones we want to start getting rid of? And is there anything else that we might want to consider keeping around? So are there any 1 cracks out yet? There are no 1 cracks out. So that would be priority to go out. 1 dots, there are 2 out. So that would be second priority. 5 bams. Are there any 5 bams? No. So These two tiles, if you're playing like the advanced players play, you are not holding the one crack in the 5 bam any longer than you need to and getting rid of the 1 dots, because that's the opposite of how you should be thinking. I hope you get that. If not, eventually it will come out. You will get it. But no, the 1 dots would not be my preference at this point. There is a good chance that somebody might call the 1 cracker 5 bam based on the fact that we are pretty much halfway through the game and they're not out. So I'm going to start with the 1 crack.
1 crack, 4 bam,
Nobody called it good. Maybe they need it, but they can't.
south, east,
Okay. And there are how many 4 dots out? 1, 2. So the 5 goes out first. Maybe we'll force a call. Hey, if we give Mahjong, I say congratulations, because that person had a few more jokers than me and a good hand. But in all honesty, if I want to try to make my hand, I can't hold on to it any longer.
5 bam, 2 crack,
Oh, I don't need that because it's a pair. So we're good.
1 crack, 3 dot,
Finally, finally, I'll stick it there. Now, I don't put my jokers where they go unless I know they need to go there. The flower, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, only 1 left. I can call without it unless I do get another joker, but I definitely need it there. But Agatha, are you playing Winds and Dragons line 2? I don't think so with the 2 soaps up there, but you never know. You never know. She could be playing 2, 4, 6, 8, line 4. All right, whatever. We're going to go with the 4 dot.
4 dot, 9 bam, 7 crack, 9 dot,
Wow, those 4s. I know,
4
it's
dot,
crazy.
7 crack, 9 bam, south,
All right. Oh, 3 crack. It's kind of, sometimes they just come in and it's like, oh, it's a fresh tile. We're at 34 tiles. We're now just about ready to enter in the end game. It's a probable, very probable 3669 maybe for that. And it is, again, you know, my take on fresh tiles. It's now or never. Diane said it's now or never too. But that is the way it is. If I don't get it out now, then what I need to do is just break up my hand. So for you guys out there, later on is when I really make that decision about breaking up my hand. But if for you that are thinking 1 dots, you're learning something new tonight. You got to take this away with you. Trust me. I'm just saying. So let's see what happens.
3 crack, north,
Good.
6
We
dot,
lucked out.
9 crack,
Oh, look at that. Okay, how do we do this when we're in person? We say, Joe, may I have your joker, please? And I'm going to hand him my 6 dot. He's going to give me the joker. Thank you so much, Joe. I appreciate it.
joker swap,
Now I don't have to even worry about that flower, or if it goes out, I can call it and use that joker here. And now, of course, I'm going to get rid of the 1 dot because there is nothing else to get rid of.
1 dot, 5 bam, 7 crack, 7 dot,
Okay, I'll do the 1 crack.
1 crack, 5 dot, 8 crack, call, 5 crack,
All right, we have 2 exposures here, a pung of flowers and a Kong of 8s. So let's take a look at what hands it could be. 2, 4, 6, 8, line 5 is 1. It could be 2, 4, 6, 8, line 7, and I believe 2 consecutive run line number 2. left or right side. If you see any more, let me know. So 3 hands. He could be playing.
Call, soap.
All right, now we've got 5s and 6s, punga 5s, cracks and 6 bam. So 4, 5, 6, 7. 4 crack, 5 crack, 6 bam, 7 bam. Yep. Last year you could do it both ends, but with 2 pungs up front, you can't. So it's only 4, 5, 6, 7.
5 bam.
Interesting. Okay. 4, 5, 6, 7, and we know what he's doing.
Soap. Mah Jongg.
Oh, that was one of the 3 we said he could be playing. Very pretty. Very nice, Wes. Congratulations on that. And look at how close that we came to this hand. We came very, very close. Like amazingly close. Let's see where our 1 bams are hiding out. 1 was out on the board, on the table. I say board because it's a computer. Let's look at the remaining tiles. 1 here. Wait a minute. Did he have it? Hold on a second. Did he have them? Only 1 went out. Am I confused? 1, 2. 2 are here. There they are. Look at how far down they were. I mean, that's the luck of the pick of the tiles, you know? All right, let's look at Wes's hand close. Okay. Wes has, what do you mean? Yeah, we said 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Second hand under consecutive was one of them. Yeah. Yeah, we knew that one. So 4, 5, 6, 7 for Joe, and line 2 for Winds and Dragons. It tells you right under it, which is nice. So he was playing that hand, and all of his, I had 2 reds and the soaps were all out, and Agatha, you did not have a chance, my friend. Oh, golly. Okay, well, I'm going to stop sharing. Anyway, we got really, really close to that hand. And being that those 1 bams were still in the wall and we got those jokers, we could have made that hand. You hear me say this every week. You're not going to win every hand, but it's how you get to the finish line that is important. How well formed was your hand? Did you make good decisions? Did you get close? If you get close and you don't mahjong, you just feel really good about and proud of yourself with what you've accomplished. Only 1 out of 4 people at the table can mahjong every game. Only 1 winner, you know? So anyway, that's it for tonight, I think. And I'm going to do my regular sign off, which is thank you so much for joining me tonight. If you're not already a subscriber of my YouTube channel, MahjCon, MahjCon, like Comic-Con, Dragon Con, MahjCon, please head over there and do subscribe. Click the bell so you get notifications. Give me a thumbs up. Even leave me a comment if you want. I hope to see you guys at some of my future events. Love to meet you in person. And you know you could feel free to reach out to me anytime that you want. I'm always around and ready to help you with your mahjong questions. And until I see you again, good night for now. Bye-bye, everybody.